Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer your elemental energy reading for the month of July of 2026 for the element of Earth. Earth covers the zodiac signs of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So if you're Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or have Earth high up in your chart, then this message is for you. If you've never had your charts read, there is a link in the description. It's not sponsored or anything like that. It's just a little tool that I put down there if you're curious. And it gives you your base 12 houses with all the little signs and symbols. And then there's 10 to 20 page description of what all that chaos of symbols mean. It's pretty cool. There's even a section in there about your elemental alignment and balance. So it gives you a lot of good information. The other links are affiliate links, so those, when you click through those do help the channel out. With that, we'll hop into your reading. And before the video, I cast the hexagram for I-ching, and Earth has number 61. It's called Inward Confidence and Sincerity. So inward confidence and sincerity. Dolphins are good fortune. It is advantageous to cross the great river or sea. Persistence in the right course brings reward. So this is where inward confidence is not pride. It's that understanding that you actually know your skills and talents. Doesn't mean that you're not done growing. It means you know where you're at in the moment. And with the dolphins' good fortune, this is also this water callback. So Earth, you may be having a really good rapport with water energy this month. And if you have water in your charts, this is probably going to be a little more advantageous for you. It is advantageous to cross the great river or sea. This is a good month of July for Earth to achieve something bigger. If you're planning something major, whether it's proposing to that person, whether it is buying that first house, starting that business, those are great things in life. A river or a sea in the I-ching talks about the energy of a big project, a big challenge being overcome. And then persistence in the righteous course brings reward. This is where you want to stick true to your morals, your ethics, and your values. Because by doing that, Earth, you're going to end up being rewarded for that work, which is part of that crossing the great river or sea energy. So with that, let's start into your lines, your foundation line, the bottom one down here. The officer in charge of hunting and fishing, good fortune. The presence of others would give rise to anxiety. So there's this energy of someone who is an authority figure. And just by them being around, this is a good thing for you. And it's also the presence of others would give rise to anxiety. You want the person of authority around, you don't need the rest, is kind of what that's saying. So if you're purchasing a home, you want the banker around. You want the real estate agent around. You don't really need the house cleaner type of a thing. You'll get to that. But when you're doing these bigger projects, when you're proposing to the person, you want one or two witnesses usually, but it's not, you don't want the whole crowd. I feel like for Earth, this is not a public display. Whatever's going on here, you want the person who you need there, not the rest of the crowd. Like, looky-loos are not your thing, which is actually not a bad idea, Earth. Your second place line, a crane sings in the shade. Its young ones follow. I have a fine goblet and will share it with you. So this is where this crane sings. This is good luck. Its young follow suit. So you've got someone cheering for you. You've got your cheerleading squad, so to speak. And these are really things that we need in life. And for Earth, July, you're going to have that. It also says, I have a fine goblet and will share it with you. This is one of those things where, because you're actually achieving things and you're in this really positive vibe energy, you're able to overflow to other people. So your cheerleading squad is like all excited for you because you're doing things and you're getting things accomplished, but you also are not stingy, like, yes, it's all mine. You're willing to share this with others. So as you're being blessed, you're also blessing others, which is pretty impressive, Earth. Good job. Our third place line, our first broken line here. He makes an enemy, beating a drum by fits and starts. He weeps and sings in turn. So this is a little bit of chaos here is what I'm feeling. There's a footnote. Let's see what it says. We are conscious of making an enemy. We cannot make up our minds what to do with it. And so it's basically with this energy here of um, he makes the enemy beating a drum by fits and starts. He weeps and sings in turn. So you've made an enemy at some point, Earth. And it may show up, it may not. You may not even be aware of this person. But what I'm getting is you probably do know who this is at this about halfway through the month is what I'm feeling here. But you don't know what to do with this person. Like, yeah, they're not happy, but how is this my problem? Like, how you're not happy with me? What did I do? And that's that vibe. The energy I'm getting right here for Earth is not that you did anything. Your success is annoyed this other person. So basically keep to that righteous path and just do your thing. Let them be annoyed over there in the corner. Your 4th place line, a team of horses strays just before the full moon, no error. So this is one of those, traveling at night may not be the best decision. Traveling without awareness is how we can look at that too, is not a good decision. But if it happens to be that way, there's still not an error. You're still going to end up in the right spot. It's one of those things where you kind of made a detour, you figured out what happened, you learned from it, and you came back to the righteous path. And a team of horses, so it's not just 1 or 2 people, this is a group of them that are kind of wandering off into the night because they thought that the full moon would guide them. That's one interpretation. The other version that's coming through right now is with the moon being your intuition, you're going to be guided, which may look like you don't know what you're doing, but you maybe end up in the right spot because you're actually following your intuitive guidance. So there's a couple of ways to look at that line in particular. And again, I'm going with my intuition, so if there's a person who reads the I-ching as part of their livelihood, let me know what you think of that line, but that's how it's coming through. Is there's 2 different options here. Our 5th place line, he seems to be pulled forward by his confidence in what he is doing, so no error. This is where when you're following that intuitive guidance, you're following that inner knowing. He seems pulled forward by his confidence. You know what you're doing. Earth, there's not a question with what I'm feeling here that you know where you're headed, you know what direction you're going. So this is not a problem for you, and that's where you're going forward in confidence, so there's no error for you. That's sticking to your goals, your ethics, and your morals, and that's going to be a very important thing for you this month. Not that it's not every month, but for Earth, this is how you shine. Your capstone, our top line, the noise of the roosters crowing rises to the sky. To persist now would bring misfortune. Once you have completed your task, stop. This is not a time, this month is not a time for Earth to be, okay, we got this one done, we can plow forward. No. When you finish whatever great thing, you cross that great river or sea, this is where you stop, Earth. And it doesn't mean that you can't move forward later. But because the rooster is crowing, they use a different word there, but we're going to be PC for internet peoples. When that rooster is crowing, it's meaning that your time is accomplished, the new sun is rising, but it also is saying that your cycle of project is completed. Whether that person said yes, whether that business was opened up or that promotion came through, or you started that business or you signed on that house. Whatever it is, you've accomplished that. And that's where you don't want to keep pushing forward or things may not go so well. So complete the project. When it's completed, take a break, take a breath. It's okay to have downtime when you complete a big project. And that's the vibe that's coming through right here is once you have done that, you don't need to worry anymore because you've got the big thing. Enjoy it for a second and then start to worry or plan or consider the next option. So with that, let's hop over into your cards. There are approximately 5 weeks in July, so we'll do with 5 sets. Each week we look at a guide or guardian, a message from source, and then a little more clarification from the tarot. And so for your first week, your guide or guardian, and all of the decks I'm using are linked in the description. Excuse me. Your guide or guardian for the first week is number 3 with transformation. There's this energy of you coming out of a chrysalis. There's been some quiet time, maybe some inner work that's been done, but now it's your time to burst free. Notice the nice vibrant wings here of our butterfly type dragon. It's this energy of success without arrogance, of achieving without having to stress about it. And this transformation has brought you from working inside and getting things clear to projecting it out and moving forward. So Earth, this month, especially this first week, is about you embracing and accepting how far you've come, knowing what you know, knowing how far you've actually learned, and now you can see the future to a certain extent of what this path you're on will bring. So your message from Source is thank you, with gratitude, appreciating what is sustaining you. So when you are in that state of transformation and coming out on the other side from your chrysalis, when you tap into the energy of thank you, you understand gratitude is a gift that we give ourselves and the universe. This is where the gates of heaven will open up. So when you are changing and transforming, thank God Source for the challenges that are coming through. Thank the divine for the ability to learn and grow. And that may sound a little bit weird when you're dealing with challenges and lessons, but sometimes those lessons are necessary to prove your strength, to prove you are ready for the next steps, to prove you have the mindset of achieving these things. This first week is basically saying you're coming out of a situation, so show gratitude for situation, but also show gratitude for upcoming opportunities to learn and grow. Your message from the tarot is the Page of Gabriel, energetic, brave, optimistic, and playful. Follow your passion. You are ready for challenges, opportunity for excitement and adventure. So Earth, you are in a state of this first week coming out of the hardship. Now it's time to have some fun. Really get into your heart space. Smile at the goofiest thing. You see a puppy on the out your window at work. You just smile and be like, that's really cute, that's an awesome dog. Or you see a couple holding hands in the park when you're out for your nightly jog. Appreciate the beauty and simplicity of that. If you are single, enjoy the fact that you can go home and you can watch whatever you want on the TV or the computer. Like, enjoy and embrace the joys of life. And that doesn't mean that you'll never change it. It means where you're at right now, you're okay. You're okay with things as they are. They can always get better. So focus on that part of it, but really appreciate how far you've come and where you're at, because you're further ahead than you realize, Earth. Your second week's guide or guardian is number 15 with Destiny, Roman numeral, sorry. And with Destiny, we have something coming in that is beyond the point of stopping. You've put things in motion. Now Source, God, the divine, is stepped in and is like, okay, we're going to roll with this. And once it has been woven into your fabric of your life, that is destiny, that's where things start to really push forward. And this second week, you're starting to see all of the planning, all of the work, all of the education that you have done for yourself, whether it's through challenges or textbooks, has set you up for this part of life where Source is like, you've done your part. Now let me do my part and let's see what happens. Because you know when Source kicks up and starts to work with you, which Source always does. But in this particular week, you're going to start seeing more of that work clearly. And things are just going to happen. It's going to happen almost like you don't have to do anything. Because when Destiny shows up, you might be inspired, but it's not going to feel like work, which is really fun. Your message from Source is Atlantis, keeping the big vision. Stay in alignment as you grow. When Destiny kicks in and things start to happen, that doesn't mean you get to lose focus. You're still doing your part, but it doesn't feel like work anymore. It doesn't feel like a challenge anymore. Why? Because it's the path you've chosen and you are enjoying the path you're on. And when we tap into that energy, especially the second week, your first week was understanding how far you've come. The second week is now saying, okay, I appreciate how far I've come, and now look what Source is bringing in to help guide me further, or to help open the doors for that. And when you look at Atlantis, there's a gateway in the back, the big arch there. And so that is that energy of, you're not done. There's still a path ahead, but you have set things in motion now where you can just move, and it feels like you're just floating. Because the heavy lifting's kind of already been done for you, Earth. Your message from the tarot is the Nine of Gabriel. Stay determined, moving forward, prepare for any possibility. So you are in a beautiful state right now of just keep the focus. Keep your eyes on the prize. The universe is lined up, destiny has been engaged, and now you just follow those aha moments, those inspired creative time frames, which allows you to keep moving forward in the healthiest way possible. And you may find times where your inspiration says sit on the porch and have a cup of tea and enjoy the sunset. Well, I'm not doing anything, but you are, because you're in communion with the divine, you're in communion with your guides and guardians, and that is what's allowing things to continue to move, because you're not getting in the way by overthinking. You're not getting in the way by overanalyzing. You've done all the work, the preparation to this point. Now, allow Source to lead for a minute so that you can take a break. That's what the second week's about. Your third week, we're getting back into the intuition here, is number 18 with Luna. And just like it talks about in the I-ching with the full moon, this is your full moon energy. And there's a couple of different ways to look at this. One, you're wandering around in the dark and not sure what you're doing, but you'll end up in the right spot. Or you're following your intuition, you're going forth blindly, but you're following your inner guidance. Other people think you're lost, but you know where you're at. And what I'm feeling with this one, Earth, is you really in this third week are going to realize just how much Source guides you and guards you even when you don't see what's going on around you. And when you do see it the next day, the next morning, whatever it is, all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's what was going on. So when you're in the moment and you're following that inner guidance, sometimes you are wandering through the dark because you don't know what's happening for sure. You don't feel bad. You might feel a little anxious because, things are a little strange sometimes. But you're not in a bad place. And that means that Source is working with you saying, listen, follow me. I know where I'm going. You don't have to see it. Maybe I have it dark for a reason because what's going on, you don't need to see. So that is how you can look at those dark points where I don't know where I'm going and you're kind of stumbling around in the dark. Source is with you, Earth, and you're being guided whether you realize it or not. Your message from Source is the ripple effect. You're part of something bigger and details are taken care of. Focus on the bigger picture. Again, destiny's kicked in at this point, so things are happening. And when you're focusing on that side of it, you're looking at the grand picture. You have your these are the goals I want for this month. You're not looking at what am I doing each day. You're saying that's my goal. And you're following your bliss. You're following the inspired action. And that's triggering this ripple, so things are happening a lot quicker than you realize, Earth. And Source wants you to understand that as you focus, as you grow towards your goals, and as you're putting that effort forward, it's being matched and possibly enhanced by Source's observance of you. So as you go through this month, when you follow your intuition, this little third eye right in here, and you're willing to listen and follow your inner bliss, you are going to see some things shifting and changing in ways you may not have realized in the first place. Your third week's message from the tarot is number 18. That's funny. We have the moon with Archangel Haniel. So this third week, I'm going to tell you right now, Earth, get into the mind of the moon. You have Luna. You have the ripple effect, which is also the tide being controlled by the moon. And we have the moon itself. This third week, I have tingles right now, Earth, is your inner voice is going to be very loud. The card says the opportunity to improve your plans. Listen to your intuition for accurate guidance, face your fears, and grow strong. This third week, you are going to see Source act in ways that you have never seen it happen before. Again, this is not for everybody, but those of you who are really on that goal and you really are clear on your mission, you're going to see things happening this third week that you didn't expect. Things are going to change in ways that you were unaware of in the first place. And this is also your time, by following your inner guidance, to really amplify what your goals, dreams, and ambitions are. You may even have a great deal of inner success where you're seeing things differently, you're feeling things differently, and you may have a secondary transformation period. The first week you were coming out of a transformation period. This third week, it might be a second version of that, but this one's going to be 100% internal. I'm not feeling the changes outside are going to be as drastic. You're going to see Source moving in ways that you hadn't expected, which is cool. But it's going to be more of that inner transformation that I'm feeling with this week. So before we hop into our fourth week, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and also when you are looking at the cards as I'm holding them up, if you see something different or you feel a different intuitive guidance, feel free to comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are on it. It's always interesting to hear other people's perspectives, but it's also kind of a fun way to exercise your own intuition and learn more about yourself in that respect. So we'll hop into our fourth week here, and it is number 6 with confidence. So in this fourth week of July, you're standing forward in your righteous path. You have overcome things, and you are actually more aware of yourself now. And that's allowed you to stand with confidence, not arrogance. Arrogance is, I'm so much better. Confidence is saying, you know what, I've been through some things. I've learned and I've grown. I know what I know, but I also know that that's not the end of everything. So this fourth week, you're really coming into a new awareness, and that kind of wraps up what happens in the third week with that transformative moon energy that's going on internally, because now you're able to stand quiet confidence. You don't need to yell to the mountaintops what you're capable of. You don't have to go out there and fight the dragons to solve a problem, because you don't need to. You already know where you're at. And as long as you are in that state, the rest of the month's going to go well. Remember, but with the I-ching, it says by the end of the month, once you've achieved, pause, quit moving. Your message from Source is the Water Oracle, psychic abilities, acting on visions, and destiny. Again, with destiny. So this month is going to be an interesting month for Earth because you have a lot of flow energy. You're also getting this energy of you've put stuff in motion, and now it's time to reap the rewards. This month is about balancing the karmic path. You've put in the effort, now the reward comes in. You put in the work, now comes the relaxation. You have followed your inner guidance, now Source is following through on their side. So you are really in an interesting place this month, Earth, and it's really about you seeing what happens when you put your faith in divine, and also when you follow your inspired actions. So have fun this month, Earth. It's definitely going to be an interesting one. Your message from the tarot is number 6, the Lovers, Major Arcana. So the second week in a row, big life energy. And it's Archangel Raphael. Make choices from your heart, emotional commitments, and the power of love. I feel like for those of you who are going to propose, this is the week where everything falls into place. This fourth week is where you just know. It's also, if you're looking at business or like real estate or something like that, this is the week where things connect. This is the energy of a relationship in a positive state. It's also the energy where your heart chakra really opens up. So if you're in a single place and you're not really buying, you're just kind of happy where you're at, this fourth week is where your heart opens. That inner confidence, the water oracles, all these things are pointing to you reveling in the peace of who you are. You revel in the connection to God's source, and this opens the door to so many more things. Your last week's guide or guardian for the 5th week of July is number 21 with Merlin the Dragon. This is an energy of the mage. This is the energy of the wise one. By the end of the month, you're going to step into your confidence. You're going to step into a more evolved form of the righteous path, and that is going to show that you have gained wisdom. Wisdom means you have the ability to change things when you need to. You also know how to discern when it's time to move and when it's time to stop. Merlin is a dragon that comes through as a dragon of study, but of action, of magic and power, but also the ability to use it accordingly when it is necessary. I also am getting this energy for Earth that this is a time where you get to step in and connect with the divine will, with God's source, because you've done your work. Destiny has played its part, and now you get to watch what happens. Your message from Source is the Well Maiden, kindness, respect, reverence, and compassion. This is where you end up when you put in the work, you do the inner drive, you follow your inner voice, you tap into that lunar energy. That 3rd week with all the moons is pretty impressive. And it's all about coming to this point of stillness. When you succeed, you pause to enjoy how far you've come. When you get that business going, you take some time to realize what hurdle you just overcame. When you cross the Great River, you take a minute and have a meal. You relax for a second. And that's what Source wants to bring forward is, by the end of this month, Earth, take the time to enjoy life for a minute. You've been moving pretty quick. There's been some things happening here, but by the end of the month, it's time to pause. Don't take further action. You've completed your cycle. It is time for you to enjoy what you have achieved. Think a little bit about the future, but don't focus on it. It can change. And your message from the tarot is the 10 of Gabriel. Ask your angels for helpful people to lighten your load. Working too many hours, trying too hard to please others. Even the tarot says take a break at the end of July. Relax. You have put in your time. There's no reason to continue to push forward. You have a lot of Gabriel, and this is your tarot messages, is Gabriel and Major Arcana. So your lessons are big. This is the energy of growth, change, and abundance, but also the hearth and the home, which is where your soul gets to relax, where your energy gets to settle. Earth, your month, the I-ching and the cards both say there's going to be some changes. Things are going to happen. Follow your inner voice. Follow your intuition. And when you do achieve whatever it is you're working on, business, relationship, I feel like that relationship one's going to be important for some Earth people out there, especially that proposal aspect, like getting into marriage. Once you've achieved that, it's okay to pause. It's okay to relax. That last week of July, just enjoy the quiet that comes with not having to rush around. The quiet that comes with not having to plan and go and do. Enjoy the quiet things in life that last week and allow your soul to recover and to rest. You've done the work, Earth. You don't need to keep pushing forward. Now, August is a different story. We'll get into that later. But for now, take the time the last week of July to just relax. Take a breath and smile at Source and say, I know you were up there doing that. Thank you for that. With that, I will let you guys and gals go. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video.